Okay, so we are going to go over how to use this spreadsheet and get all of your training information updated really quickly. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to update the code in the spreadsheet to where you saved the spreadsheets, both the spreadsheets at. So we're going to do that real quick. So the first thing you do is come over to File, you're going to take Options, Custom Ribbon, and then you're going to want to make sure this data box is checked. Once you have that checked, you can hit OK, and then you'll notice that you have a new tab up here called Developer. Once you have that, go ahead and click Visual Basic over here. Sorry, I'm a little too quick there. Visual Basic. And then you're going to want to make sure you're on Sheet 1, so you can just double click it. And the first thing you need to change is this section right here. So you need to change, this is the file name. You need to change the file name to whatever you named this training session by subject file. So this is the file where all the training data gets pulled from the management system. Make sure it's exact, no different spaces, numbers, underscores, or anything than what it is named here. I just rename it, copy it, and then paste it into the code. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure that this section is exactly where you saved it on the file. If you're in the government, I would suggest saving it on your desktop, not on a server, because it gets weird. Anyways, you just come to your file, and you can see that this is different than what it says up here. And that's because the computer doesn't recognize this. It just shows you this. But if you click inside here, you can see that now it's exactly the same. So you can just copy it, and then come up here and paste it in. And now you're good to go. Once you do that, you can exit out, save, and you're ready to hit this little button over here. So make sure everything's set up. Hit the button. And once it's done working its magic, you can see that all of this data is now in this sheet, and this data comes from this huge training report. It's like 10,000 lines. And puts it into here in a much more readable and workable method. And then if you come to sheet 1, you can see that all of the people's names are updated. The key thing to remember here is that these names over here need to be identical to the names that are on this report. I don't know why these numbers are made, but it won't work unless it's identical to the ones in this report. So that should be the first thing that you want to change, are these names. Once you change those names, there's not much work else to do. All of these will update on their own. And that's all you need to know to use the tool, so there's not that much information. What we're going to go into now is real quick how the tool works, in case you need to edit it or make changes elsewhere. So let's jump into that right now. So first thing you want to do is you want to come up here to Visual Basic, make sure you're in the Developer tab. Click it. And this is all the code. And I'm not going to go into the detail of each code. I'm just going to talk about what each section kind of does. So the first section is right here. What this is doing is it's opening up the training workbook, and then it's copying the information in here, and then it's pasting it into this sheet. And that is really all this first kind of section of code does. Right here I just had to put in an X for future stuff. I wouldn't worry too much about this one. And then now this section is filling in the gaps in the data. So when you look at it here, you can see that there's gaps between 1410 drills, Agolia, the hours, etc. Now, visually for human beings, it's probably better this way, but for utilizing it, it's a lot better to have it look like something more similar to this. Because now I know that this whole line, is 1410 drills, Agolia, and that's his date. So what I'm doing in this line of code is I'm filling in all of these gaps. And then I do it for this one too. This one, these are just various lines of code to fill in the gaps or to take certain things out. Nothing too crazy. If you really need to understand that, you can contact me. And then here I am applying a formula. So I'll show you what this formula actually outputs to. It outputs to this. So what this is doing is it's crap. Well, I just fixed that. Let's save that before I forget. I had it on the wrong thing. I don't think it'll mess up things, but it might. Well, this will work now when you get it. Yeah, so what this is doing is it's just linking. It's linking this information and this information. And that's just so that it's easier to find that criteria without writing some huge conditional statement. And then this section is just making sure the date column is fixed. And then down here we're just filtering the data by the last time they received the training. And that's all there is to it. I'll make sure that this is fixed up before I send it off. But other than that, that is all there is to this tool. So thanks for looking at it. Let me know if you have questions.